Gonna put you in the can. Hey, zombie man. Come on.
And welcome to Wednesday Night Comedy Fever. You're here with Steph and Rach tonight on 2BACR 100.9 FM. Okay, tonight on the show we've got the Royals. They're coming to town. Baby George and Will and Kate. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. Our premier has resigned over a bottle of wine. Well, more about that later in the show. Should we have a stall at Supernova? We've been discussing this, and we think it's within our reach.
Yeah. We're definitely capable of getting one. The question is, should we?
Will be a waste of our precious money. We'll do another history of the PMs of Australia. Rachel wants to talk a bit about groups on Facebook.
Yep.
We'll review Divergent, the new movie, and we've got some dating advice for it.
Yeah, this is a big one, right? I think we're the best people to give dating advice. I think I give great dating advice. And there's a lot of really bad dating. Well, I've been on the receiving end of some really terrible attempts.
Yes.
And I don't even understand how it gets to that
point.
point.
As yours, but I have been on the receiving end of some bad things.
Yeah.
But we'll be talking about
We're going to let all of our listeners learn from their mistakes.
Yeah. Don't forget to get all of your song requests in on our Facebook and Twitter page, or anything else that you would like us to talk about on the show tonight. We always are ready to listen to any ideas. Right, first up, we have
Some requests. This is Earth, Wind and Fire with Boogie Wonderland on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So, some dating advice now.
Yep.
We've never done this before, but we've always wanted to.
Yeah.
And we feel like we could be kind of helpful.
Yes.
Okay, so this all started because
We have some friends that we would like to hook up.
some work friends that we think would be really good
Yeah.
together.
They're both single.
And they're both kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And we think that they would go very, very well together.
Because they're not the most socially engaged people that we know.
I don't know, yeah, but do you think that, because they're both awkward, then they wouldn't talk to each other? Or
I don't know. I don't know if they would bond over the awkwardness, or whether the awkwardness would just start kind of
but we just
seeping out and infecting everyone around them.
We just thought it would be an awesome wedding.
Yeah. We're calling it Awkward.
Project Awkward. So we're going to try and get these people to meet.
Yeah.
And, see if, we can get Project Awkward up and running.
See if sparks fizzle out into nothing. Which would be an improvement.
Staring at each other, looking at their phones. And,
Looking nervous and awkward.
So, dating advice.
Yeah. Now, we both been actually, I think I've spoken about my really weird, bad...
The guy on the train.
The guy on the train is the worst one. So, to recap, I was sitting on the train, doing university work, sunglasses on, headphones in, and a guy comes up to talk to me about where to get off to get to a certain station, and I tell him, wrongly, as I later found out, where to go to change to Central.
Nice.
Yeah. I gave him directions, even though I didn't know the way. And he just kept talking to me. This was between two very distant stations. I was not interested. I had no interest in this person whatsoever. Later, so he just kept talking to me about what I was doing or whatever. Later hunted me down on Facebook. Oh, that's the other lesson. Give fake names, girls.
Fake names.
It sounds mean. I don't care. Fake names work. And be really obviously fake. And if somebody still doesn't get it, that's their problem. So, I should give a fake name, but he had me down on Facebook.
My name
and
is
began with
Sally
the phrase...
Paperlot.
Sally fake name. Hunted me down on Facebook and began with, "Hey, I found you." Proceeded to talk about biracial children and marriage.
Yeah, so this is tip number 1. Do not mention marriage in the first date. Or
Don't
first
be a
message.
weirdo. Yes. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. You've got to learn when to bow out, okay?
Yeah,
Social cues.
There's going to be a lot of so if a guy's approaching a girl, you're going to know if she's interested.
Yeah. Because I can say, like, there's a lot of kind of dating advice where it's like, I'll just, hold out and then show people your personality. But if somebody just doesn't like you from the get-go or just isn't into you, they're not going to get into you.
I think the
And you're not going to get into them.
To start off, not like you'll want to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Just like talk to them.
You can
Have a
tell.
chat.
Trust me, from the girl perspective, you can tell
Oh yeah.
if somebody just wants to hook up with you.
Yeah.
It's like this really bad odor that just exudes. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I had a guy that I was talking to today who just asked a girl out, and she said yes, she wants to go for coffee, but she wouldn't give him her phone number.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, she said yes to him, so she's obviously interested.
Okay.
So my thing was, I'm like, don't worry about it because she said yes. So obviously she does want to see you again, but she just doesn't want you to have her phone number, just in case you turn out to be creepy.
Yeah.
Because then you won't be able to contact her. But if you're on Facebook, she said she'd find him on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, she can block you if you turn out to be creepy.
Yeah.
So that's just a kind of, a little kind of...
You can control Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's another, hint that if somebody doesn't want to give you a phone number,
Well, if
or...
they don't give you any contact details
Yeah.
at all, like,
Not
no, I
interested.
don't have Facebook and my phone is broken and I don't remember my phone number and,
And in conversation as well, if they're only giving you very short answers and they're not answering your questions with further questions, which incidentally is how a conversation works, then they're not interested.
yeah.
If they're looking at their phone, if their eyes are darting around, they're not interested.
If
So
they move to another carriage on the train...
if they punch you in the face,
No, don't try to pick people up on the train.
no.
That's like the height of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody's on a train to pick up.
No, they're just riding the rails hoping for, the man of their dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't do that either.
Don't do that.
But we had some lists of dating advice,
Yeah.
didn't we?
I'm so glad you introduced the list and not me.
Oh, it's another one of Rachel's list.
Thanks. So yeah, obviously we've said, okay, if somebody's not interested, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pursue it,
Let
because
it
then you'll
go.
just seem
Let it
creep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I should play that next. The first one is once you've got a date, or if you're trying to set up a date, go someplace that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So, firstly, don't go to a club or a bar. Go to coffee. I think like
Coffee's
a
good.
date is good.
Coffee's really generic though.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, another thing is good is going to like dinner and a movie, but go to the movie first and then have dinner. That way you've got something to talk about at dinner.
true. Yeah, do it that way around. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. But then you have to go to an early movie, but still.
Surprise, I'm good at this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
then,
do that.
Then if you have nothing in common, you can still at least talk about the movie.
Exactly.
That actor's really good. No, he wasn't. He was, he was really bad.
The other one. This is a piece of dating advice from eHarmony.
It's this one's a little bit weird, right?
Well, yeah, I'm going in reverse order now from what I read out before, but it says do whatever it takes to get some confidence. Here's how it actually explains. Every single woman we've ever asked says that confidence is a deal breaker when it comes to choosing a guy. I have to say though, still pick up on the social cues.
Well-
Don't just keep trying to pursue somebody, but no, I'm confident. Because you
Yeah.
can still be a weirdo.
Well, people who are overly confident come off as arrogant.
Kind of
So,
jerks.
Yeah, I've got a lot of people I've met that I'm like, I really don't like you. And then other people
This
will
is-
be like, why didn't you like that person? Mostly guys. I'm like, I don't understand how you like that person. But he is so arrogant. Yeah.
And their advice is that it typically helps to practice just talking to women you don't already know. Which is actually the whole point of dating. So I don't know how that's like...
They just walk up to a random
Practice.
woman in the street.
And their example is to join a meetup.com group.
Yes. Like eHarmony.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
And the best part is like, they say being really good at something is something that you can talk about. With the example that if you're a great snowboarder, she'll sense your confidence as you talk about it. But you've already got the advantage of being a snowboarder.
I'm a great snowboarder. Really.
That's like instant cool. One of the other pieces of advice,
If you come out and say I'm a great snowboarder, she's gonna be like, well, that's a bit,
like,
why are you talking
can
about
you
how
like
great
get
you
me
are?
snowboarding stuff for cheap? Oh, good. We'll be friends.
There's a great Skyrim snowboard that I want.
Another piece of advice from eHarmony.com is get an assessment from a female friend. Now, you're already doing that because we're here, but I'd say this is very good advice. Don't go to your other male friends
No, they
for
don't know what
advice.
they're talking about.
Yeah, that's
No.
that's not the way to do it. So they've said that the easiest way to improve your dating skills is to take a female friend to lunch and talk her through your last date. Clothes, venue, choice, conversation. I'm starting to think that some of that might just sound like you're trying to get your friend on a date.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to talk to you about the last date I had. Yeah, alright, let's go on a date to talk about the last date I had. This is one of the pieces of advice that I gave to this guy today. Do not talk about other dates on your date. Do not talk
Don't
about
do it,
exes
yeah.
on your date. That is really bad.
And don't really talk about dates or dating in general.
No, yeah. Or the
Stick to-
weather.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the weather. Oh.
I think the other piece of advice that kind of gets thrown around a lot, but I think it's terrible, is don't try to compliment.
Well, he said that today. He's like, oh, compliment her, make sure we talk about her. And I'm like,
No.
talk about her, but don't over compliment her because she's going to be creeped out by that.
And don't make it sound like you're trying to find out her tax file number. Like if you're just trying to ask like really probing questions about her and her family.
Yeah, like,
Go
how
like,
many
who
brothers
are
do
you?
have? What was your mother's maiden name?
Exactly. And what was your first pet's name? Oh, I've got to be able to get a password with that. So don't ask too probing questions. I think that eHarmony really needs to get their crazy together because here's another one. Crazy never gets any better. Now this assumes that the problem is with her, which if you're on eHarmony, it probably isn't. Just throwing that out there. But they say that crazy is the number one red flag on the list, and that you should run at the first whiff of crazy, and
What
don't make the
kind of
mistake
crazy,
of
though?
thinking she's beautiful, I can handle the crazy.
Well, what do they mean by crazy?
They don't actually define crazy, but their picture is of a woman in a bra and a vest stretching, screaming, practicing singing lessons. I can't tell what the picture is.
Alright. Well, I think
But
you
if
should
you
avoid
can
crazy
get
people.
like a hot girl, you don't need dating advice from eHarmony.
Well, if she's crazy. Nobody else
Maybe.
Nobody else wants her.
This is probably my favourite one. Do a couple of little chemistry checks during the night. Which sounds really creepy and
Like, yeah.
invasive to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a swab of your cheek now.
I've got to make sure our DNA is compatible.
Ew.
Yeah, again, don't bring up your eugenics plan on a date. They say that if you're not sure how the date is going, do a chemistry check. While you're standing together waiting for a table, for example, lean into her a little bit, be subtle, and watch what she does. Does she lean away or, God forbid, step back? She's not feeling it. If she lets you lean in or even leans into you, things are going quite well.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Far be it for me to question eHarmony with their picture of a completely legit looking doctor.
Oh, yeah, he looks real.
Yeah, there's nothing in that petri dish. Or any of those beakers.
I am a doctor of invisible science.
Maybe he's just the janitor. For some reason with the goggles on.
Well, he has to, protect himself from those cleaning fumes. I don't know, it kind of could work, because if she steps back from you, then she's like, I don't want you anywhere near me, but if
I
you're
guess
leaning in very
yeah.
obviously, then she's going to be like, you're a creep.
I guess it comes back to social cues. You gotta look at body language cues as well.
Yeah,
Like
folded
if-
arms,
yeah.
like Rachel's doing right now.
Just tell if somebody's not interested and don't try to push it, is I think what that's about. Maybe the best way to check in terms of body language would be to say, hey, check this out, like something on the phone, and see if she leans in to check what it is on the phone, or if she's kind of like standing back and observing
Oh,
from
yeah,
afar.
that's really, really nice, yeah, from far away.
That's great as she fumbles for the door handle behind her. This is, I think, the funniest one.
Funnier than don't be crazy.
Chances are you don't need to be anybody... I can't say it in a serious voice. Chances are you don't need to be anybody else to attract a great girl. There's somebody who will love you.
There's somebody who will
somebody
love you.
somewhere.
Someone will love you.
There's like, what, 6 billion people in the world? 7 billion.
Someone out there's gonna love you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's the thing, right? Don't be fake, though. That's that's some real advice. Don't be fake, because people can tell.
And that's going to come out pretty quickly. If you're not an actual
Also,
snowboarder.
I think that, the general rule should be don't ask people out at work.
Yeah.
Like if you're a sales assistant, you don't want to be asked out by someone.
We've had that. People, like,
Oh, yeah.
customers giving their phone number. Well, we're not going to call you.
Oh.
We just want you to buy our
Yeah.
freaking shoes.
I had a guy who we had to take phone numbers for trades or something. I can't remember. But he's like, I'm like, oh, and I need your phone number. And he's like, is that phone number for you or for the trade? And I'm like, yeah, I ask everybody for their phone number for the trades. So I like kind of just shut down. He's like, oh.
You should have gone, it's for that guy.
Yeah, he really likes you. I'm like, hello. But yeah, also
You'd make a great gay guy, Steph.
stupid.
That was a really good hello.
Stupid lines like that don't work. Like
No.
I think I told
Lines
people
don't
this
work.
before, but I was playing a Power Up Heroes at a Ubisoft event, and I was playing with one of my friends, and this guy walks past me and he's like, "You can beat me up any day." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's,
Like, don't tempt me.
that that was really smooth."
Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't work.
No.
Yeah,
Unless it's clever. But if you're not clever,
it's never clever.
no.
It's not. If you say something clever, then that's good, but not like that.
In part of the, being yourself section, it does say that one of the pieces of advice is dress nice, bathe, smell good, ask lots
Babe,
of questions,
I like that one.
smile, laugh, exhibit a little knowledge about something interesting, say anything of value.
Something interesting though, what you find interesting, like they might find really not interesting. Like, if I started talking about how much I loved Skyrim, I find that interesting. A lot of people were like, what the hell is she on
But
about?
that's something, like, cool, that, like, you're into.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather, like, a guy come up to you and start talking about, like, some novel that he really likes compared to, oh, your eyes are so pretty.
That was creepy.
What do you like doing? See, no,
Yes.
but if you were saying, oh, yeah, and then I read Sherlock Holmes and I really loved this bit. And then,
Well, that is
Is that
better,
more
yes.
interesting?
That is more interesting. That is
Yeah.
more interesting. But don't, I don't know, because there's a borderline thing. Because if you like comic books, for example.
But, like, talking about something else is completely non-threatening.
True. Unless they find you really creepy.
Mm.
Like
Oh, yeah, like, my taxidermy collection is really interesting.
well, yeah, or, I have 10 cats. I love cats. Cats are awesome.
I had 11, but then I started my taxidermy class.
The room I have for all my comic books, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but it really depends on the person, because,
You mean, like, if they're a really good-looking person, you overlook the room full of comic books? I would.
No, well, I would overlook the room full of comic books because I didn't care, but,
But yeah, definitely. Oh, and do take the bathe advice seriously.
Oh, yeah, definitely babe.
When somebody comes into the store and they smell terrible, there's no amount of good looks, there's no
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of interesting conversations that
Our
person can
pub for
have.
that is called Coconut Beach. We spend
We need
$30
to
a month.
invest in some Coconut Beach.
Yeah, we actually have an air freshener in our store because we have guys sitting in our store all day, and some of them smell pretty bad. But our store does not. Coconut Beach.
It also says, just smile, nod, and listen.
Yes, but don't look creepy.
Don't look creepy, oh my god.
It sounds like bad advice, like just don't look creepy. How do I not look creepy? But yeah.
Another piece of advice is, think at least a little about what you need. Who are you and what do you like? And do you want, a woman who likes what you like? Or maybe hates
What you
what
hate?
you like. Yeah.
I don't know. Like they had an example about,
Well,
if you like
basketball.
your basketball team, you love your basketball team, and the person you're going out with or want to go out with hates basketball. I don't see that as a big issue though.
No.
Because if she likes you and hates basketball, she'll let you watch basketball. She won't care. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless
What's
she's
your other one?
uptight and crazy.
The number one rule for eHarmony was get clear on the red flags. That there are, quote, red flags that are annoying and red flags that are Molotov cocktails waiting to burn your life down.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like
They don't tell you which one's which.
they don't really tell you. But an example is a beautiful and kind woman with an annoying laugh may be tough on a long car ride, but at least she thinks you're funny.
Yeah, if someone has an annoying laugh, I don't think that's a reason to break up with them.
Don't you think it's weird that in all these examples the woman is pretty? They use the example of a beautiful woman, not a smart woman. Yes, this is going back to Wonder Woman again.
Is this another red flag? Like, she's butt ugly, but she's really, really smart.
Maybe actually just the intelligence is a red flag. Is she smarter than you? Run! She's gonna figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's actually pretty funny. But yeah, so don't look like you're checking someone out. Like, don't be creepy. I really cannot stress this enough. Because I feel like people just don't get it.
I feel like if you want to ask someone out who's in a store, then you have to befriend them first. You have to go in there a lot, and not just to chat with them, to actually buy stuff. If you
And look interested in that stuff.
exactly. So,
Although, no, that probably works in your store. Because it's a
Well,
game store and you're
yeah,
into
I
games.
suppose it wouldn't
But
be
like,
a
I
shoe
work in a
store.
shoe store. I'm not really into shoes. Like, if somebody came in and was really into shoes, I'd be
wouldn't,
like,
okay, wouldn't
God,
you find
you're
it
weird.
super creepy if a guy came into your store, talked to you, and then left, and then came back the next day and talked to you, and then left, and then came back the next day to talk to you, and then leave?
yeah,
like-
that'd be really, really creepy.
Isn't that creepy? And you'd be like, what do you do here? He's like, oh, nothing.
Yeah.
I just,
It's
walk
like
around
coming in.
shopping.
Unless like somebody came into the store to buy like, hiking boots because they're a really outdoorsy fit type. Like, hey, do you want to go like hiking?
And you're an outdoorsy
Alright.
fit type?
I want to be an outdoorsy fit type. It was like aspirational. And if you replay that conversation, I kind of admitted that I just go walking into the wilderness with a stranger.
Do you want to see my cabin in the woods? On next week's show, Rachel survives the wilderness. Yeah, don't go walking out in the woods with complete strangers.
I think some other advice that's just kind of general about the type of people that you're interested in is try to be interested in people like yourself. Wait, I need to explain that, don't I?
Yeah.
As in, if you want somebody who's really fit and toned, like well dressed, well presented, let's call them hot, shall we? You can't be lazy and
Yeah.
like
Slovenly.
you can't be a
I love that
sloth.
Yeah.
You have to be fit and active and put effort into your appearance.
That's true.
Because otherwise that person who does put effort in and who takes care of themselves and everything isn't going to be into you. And that's not superficial.
True.
That's just about common interests.
Yeah, incompatibility kind of thing. That's true too.
So don't think that, I'm not going to get a supermodel because they're superficial. No, it's because you're a fat douchebag.
Yeah, that's the reason. I don't know, but people just shouldn't just go for supermodels because they're supermodels. You know what I mean? You gotta have something in common.
Yeah.
Or something that's so not in common that you have fun talking about it and arguing about it. That could be a thing.
Yes, it's like our thing. He's really into basketball. I want to punch him in the face.
Well,
There are
Phil,
disagreements.
okay, my boyfriend Phil, he doesn't like gaming. And
Oh, okay.
I love gaming.
Mm.
And I try to get him to play. Like, he'll play a game that's like, Street Fighter, which is you beat the other person up and then the game's over. I don't like that kind of game. The kind of game I like takes 500 hours to finish. But
And 99 hours to download.
99 plus. Yeah, so that, he doesn't care for gaming, and I like it quite a lot. But that doesn't bother us.
Mm.
It's not like a massive issue at all, really. Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't think
Oh.
that's a big thing.
Do you think we should give any sort of like appearance advice in terms of if you're going to go out to meet people? Because I was at the Ivy on Saturday. I don't go
Really?
out very often. I know, right? How shocking is that?
I was at the Ivy once for the Ubisoft thing.
Okay. Well, I was at the Ivy for Pacha. And,
I don't know what that
okay,
is.
clubbing really isn't my scene.
What were you there for?
Pacha? It's basically like a event they have, but it's just dancing. And
Oh.
it's like a nightclub.
So
Anyway,
why were you?
it was a party.
Okay.
Somebody I know, a friend of mine at work. Anyway, yeah, not a fan of the douche music, and because I call it douche music.
I'm not doof, which is what everybody else calls.
And there was like the median age of people there was probably 20.
Yeah.
It was a little younger than me. But here's the thing: all the guys looked exactly the same. It was an iron shirt with jeans, short hair and just a bit of stubble. That was the look on literally everyone. One guy was wearing shorts, he stood out. Another guy had a bow tie. Other than that, everybody looked exactly the same. And the shirts were always rolled up 3/4.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
I don't really notice people's clothes, to be honest. Unless they're really gross.
Well, thank you to Ivy, you'll notice. Everybody is the same.
Yeah, like, I don't notice people's clothes unless they really, like, really, really stand out. Like, you know, oh, that girl's not wearing any clothes.
Like
Oh.
peacocking.
What?
Peacocking is where you wear like a really outrageous outfit or something.
So people
That-
look at you.
Acts as both like an icebreaker and conversation starter.
And a deterrent.
Nuclear deterrent. Don't go over there.
Dress decent.
Yeah,
My
but don't
advice
dress
to
like
girls-
every other person.
Look, my advice to girls is wear clothing.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my god, I went to my sister's graduation a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
They need to really spell out what
Yeah.
graduation is. Graduation is not that nightclub on Oxford Street that you hang out on at the weekend. Graduation is held in the Great Hall, and it's quite a
Graduation is a place for clothing.
quite a formal affair.
Yeah, that because nobody.
God, the Arch-Chancellor's eyes went south
They
quite a
need-
few times.
Ugh. They think
He's
it's
old.
attractive, but it attracts the wrong kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wear clothing if you're going
Mm.
on a date. Something that preferably covers all the bits that should be covered.
Mm. Oh, but guys, if you want like an easy target, go for the club girls who don't wear very much.
Yeah.
I just got the impression that they're pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, that's what they look
Mm.
like. They're not wearing so many clothing. People be like, oh, you know, I should be able to wear whatever I want, and you can.
Mm.
But whatever you want gives certain impressions.
Mm.
So
I know, right? Wearing a giant like a t-shirt that says the Nazis were right. You can wear whatever you want, but that
We don't
definitely
believe that, by
says
the way.
something about your like.
we don't believe what we're just. Yes.
No, but like that
It says
that
something
sends a
about you, yes,
message.
it does. It sends a very, very, very clear message.
And doesn't send the I don't care what other people think about me message.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wear clothing. Don't spill food on yourself
No, don't do that.
because that's just gross.
I think we're just gonna keep coming back to don't be creepy.
Don't be creepy. That's the big one. Don't be creepy. Don't follow her around. Don't text her constantly. Don't
Listen to like just pay attention to social cues, and if she's not interested, move along.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so much you can do to kind of lay the groundwork and get somebody, you know, to want to go on a date with you. But if they're just not into you from the beginning,
Well, I had this guy
they're not going
on
to get into you.
Facebook, like kind of like your guy, but slightly less creepy. Who every time I went on Facebook would message me,
Oh,
and I'm like, I kind of don't want to talk to you, so I would just pretend I wasn't there, or I would turn off my chat. So it was like I wasn't there.
oh wow.
So yeah, it got quite annoying. Yeah.
This is our last piece of dating advice for girls, I think. The way I got rid of creepy guy on Facebook, after telling him that I didn't live in the state, that basically I want nothing to do with you, I eventually said I had a boyfriend and then never got another message again. So honestly, I think that if you're in some sort of a social like situation and you want to just shut that down,
I have a
keep
boyfriend.
like a ring in your pocket.
I'm
And then
gay.
when in doubt, just like throw it on and kind of flash it around.
Yeah. But I
That's a good
suppose
one.
that's the first thing you should say to somebody if they ask you, like, oh, I'm engaged. You know, or I'm married.
My ring's getting resized.
Yeah. That's a good excuse.
Maybe that's a good question we should ask like our male listeners. Would you rather somebody be honest and just say, look, mate, I'm not that into you? Or lie?
Well, I think you can always tell when someone's lying, right? Like with that girl today, right? She's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know my own phone number, but I'll look you up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, she could have asked for his phone number, one thing, and she'd be like, oh, I'll just
That's a
message
good
you,
one,
and
actually.
Then, you know, I'll just message you, and then you'll have my phone number. That's
That's a good way to get out of giving somebody your number
Well-
without being rude, though. You go, how about I take your number?
Yeah, I'll take your number and I'll message you and never do it. But yeah, I can't remember what I was talking about.
About saying outright, I'm not into you.
Yes.
Do you reckon she should have?
Well, no, I think
Yeah.
I don't think she's not that into. I think she, she wants to go out with him, but there's like a kind of like it was lying about lying because she said she didn't know her phone number.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's a lie. But she did that because she just doesn't want him to end up being creepy and then message her all the time. Which is fair enough, I think. But she could have just said, I don't give my number out to people I don't know, but I'll find you on Facebook. And that would have just had the same effect, I think. Instead of just saying, no, I don't want to give you my number. I don't know. Honesty's overrated sometimes, though.
Yeah, I feel like if I said to someone, you are a creepy person
And to go away.
leave me alone.
Well,
That would
hint.
be really mean, though.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point you do have to be a bitch, though.
Well, I think, yeah.
Like, if somebody just really is not getting any of these social cues that we've talked about, in terms of body language and conversation and, like, eye contact and whatever, if somebody just really isn't getting it, I think it's okay to say, leave me alone.
Well, yeah, but then the thing is, right, if a girl says to a guy, leave me alone, then the guy should leave her alone.
Yeah.
It's not a cue to be like, oh, girls like persistent guys. No.
No.
If she
No,
says-
they don't.
If she says, leave me alone, you leave her alone. Because then she's got to get out the pepper spray. Or the taser.
And don't mistake politeness for interest.
Yeah, that's true.
People can be perfectly polite and nice to you. It doesn't mean they want to make out with you.
Yes.
There's a line there.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah, and that line is lined with pepper spray.
Yep. Don't lean in for that kiss. You're going to be
Don't do it.
blinded.
I think we've kind of,
We
covered
covered
dating
most
advice
of it.
pretty well.
Yeah, we covered most of it.
I think it's been us like 20 minutes of dating advice.
Yeah, it's been about that long. Half an hour.
We should run a
show.
course.
Yeah, dating advice course.
Well, while you are out there then, everyone.
If anybody
This
has
is-
any questions
Yeah.
about their dating,
Send us your dating your dating questions.
Yeah, and
That'd
we'll
be
see
good
if we
at
can
this.
answer them.
Maybe like every week we'll just pick one.
If we get whatever. And we will leave them on our Facebook or our Twitter page, and we will get to all of those dating questions.
We
Or
sure
if you don't leave us one, we'll just make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet's full of them.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll give advice to these people who don't listen to us. Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So, talking about creepy people, Barry O'Farrell. I'm still calling him Barry O'Faz. Barry
She's
O'Farrell.
like Barry O'Frazzled.
Yes. He, the Premier of New South Wales, or former Premier, just
Former.
resigned
Yes.
today for accepting a bottle of wine from some dude.
Pretty much that sums it up. Hey,
Well, this is
So-
a very expensive bottle of wine. and-
$3,000.
Yes. I would not spend that much on wine. But, well, there's corruption in the air,
Yeah.
apparently.
So, ICAC, the Independent Commission Against Corruption, is investigating the sale of Sydney Water to AWH. Specifically, they're investigating the boss, Nick D. Girolamo, I think is that pronounced?
I don't know.
Girolamo? Anyway. So, Nicky D, they're...
Nicky D and Bazo Faz.
Yep.
I smell underbelly.
And so they were investigating whether or not Barry O'Farrell had anything to do with this deal, and he had previously claimed that he had nothing to do with this. This was at arm's length from the government.
He came out yesterday and
And-
said there was no bottle of wine, never accepted the bottle
Yeah.
of wine, this wine didn't exist.
So yeah, the ICAC was investigating that actually he'd kind of been in, I don't know if I want to say cahoots, because it probably wasn't that much, but there was some form of corruption going on with this sale concerning Barry O'Farrell and Nicky D's kind of working relationship, that they were actually friends and something else going on. So it was alleged that he'd accepted this really extravagant gift, this $3,000 bottle of wine. And he'd said that no, he didn't receive it. There were no gifts or anything like that. Turns out he totally received a $3,000 bottle of wine. Not only that, but he was absolutely aware of it because he sent a handwritten note back to, not, dear supporter, thank you, from the office of Barry O'Farrell. This is Do you want me to read the note?
Read the letter, yeah.
Handwritten, dear Nick and Jody, we wanted to thank you for your kind note and the wonderful wine. 1959, which is the vintage of the wine, was a good year, even if it is getting a little further away. Thanks for all is underlined, your support. Kind regards, I think it actually does say Baz and Rosemary.
Which is his wife, apparently.
Yep. So it's actually like
Yeah.
Rosemary. And then
Very
it does
friendly.
have at the bottom the like watermark for the Premier of New South Wales. Parliament House, Macquarie Street, Sydney, New South Wales. There's no getting out of this.
It's a little bit suspicious that he wrote the year of the bottle in there as well.
Yeah.
It's very like, I set myself up.
You can't even say that, oh no, that was another bottle of wine. That was like $5
Yeah.
white from Liquorland. It really
some
wasn't
goon,
anything.
like cask wine.
He
Yeah.
cannot be further implicated. So subsequently,
He's
he
fine.
resigned.
Yeah, and I asked
I don't
the
think he
question,
would've
who's
been-
our premier now? And Rachel's like, nobody. Like, oh, who's going to notice? Really?
Exactly. People won't notice for a while. Maybe people were like, what did he do? What were they investigating? Why did he resign?
Something about wine? Was he drunk?
Would he have been forced to resign?
Possible. Oh, I think
Yeah.
so. Because he's
Maybe.
like, if the corruption thing, I don't know. If they investigate him further, which they probably will now.
Sweet, whiny corruption.
Well, you'd think that they'd have to keep investigating him. They
Yeah.
wouldn't just be like, oh, so you accepted the wine, goodbye, and that's it.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be like, well, I have to resign, so, you know, it's just me, not the entire party.
And it's probably better that he did it really quickly.
Yeah, but
So
it would have
people
been
can get
better
over
if he said, yes, I accepted the wine, I resigned. No, there was no wine, never. And then, you know,
Yeah.
well, I was found
It's
out.
the old, like, you know, not only did he accept the wine and all these corruption charges, but now he's also lied about it,
Yeah,
which just makes you guilty,
yeah. More
no matter
guilty.
what you've
If
done.
he had owned up to it, like, yes, there was a lovely bottle of wine that he gave me as a thank you gift, and, you know, it was just that. That's it, you know. There was no other further, you know.
Mm.
And then that, you know, that note is obviously they're friends.
Yeah.
Obviously. And
There's
him
no
and his
ambiguity
wife
there.
too, not, you know, dear sir, the gift you gave was much appreciated.
Mm.
Sincerely, Barry O'Farrell.
Premier of New South Wales. Yeah, it wasn't like an official transaction whatsoever.
No, handwritten, not even typed. Wasn't even an email.
It was like a text message.
No, he's like shaking his friend like, I told you to burn that note. I don't
So
know,
that was-
this is the, you know, the corruption of our government. It's wine. They're accepting wine. They're so corrupt. I don't
That's
know.
such a bad way to go, though.
Yeah. Well, there was that guy who was, you know.
It'd be better if it was like a $5,000 bottle of wine.
Well, did he? Yeah, did he resign because he was sniffing someone's chair? Do you remember when that happened?
I remember that, but I don't know much about it.
No,
But I did hear about
this
that.
big
There was also something
chair
with a
sniffing
truck,
can.
right?
Yeah,
Do you remember some like Ute scandal a few
Yeah.
years ago?
I don't remember the Ute scandal.
I'll have
There's
to
so
look
many
into the Ute
weird scandals.
They're not fun either. But here's the thing, right?
They're
With
not fun.
when it comes to politicians, surely they know that there are so many journalists out there to get a front page.
Yeah.
You're gonna get found out, particularly when you can be caught red-handed.
With a handwritten note and an
Yeah.
expensive bottle of wine. Yeah.
The wine stain on the handwritten note was dated to 1959 when. Yeah, like, you know you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, so much like lately, so much corruption. Like people are like, oh, you know, that this person has nothing to do with our, you know, party, and we completely do not condone what they did. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why a politician would even put themselves in that position when they know that they're gonna get found out.
I don't know. Maybe he thought he wasn't doing anything wrong. But anyway, you shouldn't accept gifts of that nature anyway. You know what I mean? Like something that's so expensive. I know that some. Okay, so police, for example,
Yeah.
they have to declare everything that is given to them.
Hmm.
So even if like a little kid gives you a chocolate bar, you have to say this was given to me by this person at this time, or you know they have to declare everything. And over a certain amount, they're not allowed to accept. So if it's something that's worth over a certain amount, they're not allowed to take it.
That
Even-
makes sense.
I know that some some places, some offices and things like that, you're not allowed to accept gifts at all from clients at all, because then it's seen as kind of like bribery. Even if you have no way of making them like, you know, priority over anybody else. So,
Oh, it's like you rescue a kid from a tree and then the kid tries to give you their teddy bear.
you're like, no, I can't accept this.
Yeah. Because last year I accepted a $1 million, I don't know,
Car.
yeah. I didn't think of something that could be $1 million. I accepted 1 million homes in Detroit.
I accepted the whole of Detroit.
Oh, and just to catch up for any listeners who weren't listening a couple of weeks ago, we didn't end up buying that home in Detroit.
No, we should have, but no. Well, it's always an option.
Yeah. Oh, well, now I'm just thinking of all these things that are $1. I could have bought a house in Detroit for that. Like
Yeah.
the 3D glasses at the movie cinema.
Yeah,
I could have had a house in Detroit for that.
yeah.
And I don't understand but it's, you know, in a bad neighbourhood and it's really run down. Houses in bad neighbourhoods that are really run down here are going to cost you $100,000.
We have a deal at work where you can buy a drink and like a snack for $5, and like I could buy 5 houses in Detroit for this drink and snack. Yeah.
And the house in Detroit will probably be about as long. I think it'll stay standing. One of them was just a house front. But anyway,
just the front of the house.
the inside had already been ransacked. They'd taken everything, including the kitchen sink.
And the toilets.
How they took the piping is anyone's guess.
Uh,
So, do you reckon this is gonna what do you do when you have to resign from something?
I don't know, but
based
it's
on
a pretty
corruption.
big thing. Like our premier has resigned. It's pretty big. I don't know if I was ever forced to resign because I was corrupt.
Yeah. What if they make you resign the radio show? This is pretty low grade compared to Barry O'Farrell.
Bazza
This is
has.
nowhere near Bazza's kind of level of corruption. But what if they made you leave because they think, oh no, that you're promoting game traders too much?
Oh, now everybody knows where I work. Thank you.
They already knew where I worked because of our stupid
Yes, Rachel.
false
sketch
advertising
yourself.
segment last time. I wish it hadn't been on that list.
If I was promoting, well, I've never done that. But if they're like, oh, you have to quit the radio show, I'd be like, oh, that's disappointing. I'm gonna go to Penrith's Wow FM. So,
Okay, and now you get in trouble for promoting another station on the radio station.
well, they're a non-for-profit station too. So
Like competition.
they're in Penrith. We are based
Do they have,
out
like,
all
a-
the community
Do they have a
area.
wider?
No, I don't think
reach
so.
than
I
we
think
do?
They're just Penrith.
Oh, okay, but do they have a digital signal
I have
that
no
people can
idea.
actually get?
I really know very
Station
little
management is
about Wow.
asleep. They're not listening to this.
I don't even know if they're actually called Wow. Yeah.
Oh, you made that up.
Well, I was in
They're
a
on
lecture.
actual station. Do you reckon we should start Wow FM?
I was in a lecture at uni, and 2 of the people lecturing to us, talking to us, they're like, oh, they came in because they were successful from this course or the course that I'm doing or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, we both started out at this Penrith local community radio station. So yeah.
And what do they do now? They're
One
just
of
like-
them is a, I can't remember what he said, producer at 7, Channel 7 or 9.
Oh, that's
One or
good.
two. Yeah.
They worked their way up pretty well. We can be there.
Actually, one of them works for Barry O'Farrell. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, one of them worked for Barry
I
O'Farrell.
think he was Barry O'Farrell's PR guy.
That's so good. No way.
I'll find out who he was. Actually, we'll find out exactly who he was.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
I feel like you should sort of discount whatever he's told you.
Actually, he wouldn't. He was the only person who wouldn't allow us to record what he was saying too.
Oh, really?
So maybe he knew that. Good old Mr. O'Farrell.
Oh, maybe you knew
was
something
being
was up.
investigated, yeah. Well, he
Oh,
probably
that was your first red flag.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know anything about any wine back then.
I still don't know much about wine. I can't believe there's a $3,000 bottle of wine. What's the most expensive wine ever?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh,
Most
I-
expensive.
I didn't like wine until I went to Hunter Valley. and now I only like very specific wine, which is like
Oh,
a really,
God.
really, really sweet dessert wine, which everybody else hates. So yeah,
Wow, you're like a wine connoisseur.
no, apparently I like the bad wines. Rachel's face just then was awesome. It was like the jaw drop, like the actual cartoon jaw drop. How much is the most expensive bottle of wine?
Okay. So Baz's was $3,000. Do you want to have a guess at number one on my list?
$1 million.
Okay, well no, it's not that much.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to be underwhelmed.
Yeah.
The second time today I'll be underwhelmed. Thank you, Rachel, for chads.
Chads! What the hell is a chad? You don't want to go around eating. Eating.
Someone named Chad. Chad, sorry.
I don't keep chads in my freezer for a
Chad's in
snack.
your fridge?
No, you keep in the pantry. At room temperature is when they're most enjoyable.
Alright, well I was underwhelmed by the chads. Chads. Anyway,
Chads.
chads.
Okay.
How much is it? Is it Chad wine, Ched wine?
No. Okay, firstly, it's probably just an acronym, KRUG, but it looks like Krug. From 1928.
Oh, some
Sold
Krug
for
wine.
$21,200.
Oh, is there a reason?
I don't know.
Krug wine? Anybody got a bottle of Krug?
Well, in 2005, a bottle of Krug from 1953 went for $12,925.
Wow,
Which is still a lot.
that's an expensive Krug.
Oh, man.
Sounds bad.
How about this one? The Chateau Margaux from 1787
Okay.
was $225,000.
Oh my god.
For context, the price per glass was $37,500.
Oh my god.
37,500
And it
homes
probably
in
tastes
Detroit.
bad. Probably tastes bad.
It's from 1787. Who can verify that? Surely you can just like, you know how like making treasure maps in I was going to just put like the tea bag.
Burn the
Maybe
edges
somebody
a
done
bit.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Inglenook Cabernet Sauvignon Napa Valley from 1941 sold for $24,675. Again, that's $4,000 per glass.
It's expensive wine.
$4,000
Yeah.
for a glass of wine.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be spending any kind of like money on wine.
What about this one? Jeroboam of Chateau Mouton Rothschild. Oh, I'd be such a good wine person. From 1945, sold for $310,000. $8,600 per glass.
I still want the Krug.
Krug's pretty good.
Get me a Krug glass of Krug.
God.
Yeah. So,
But
you
the
got
advice
ripped
is,
off, Barrel.
if you ever happen upon a bottle, don't drink it.
Because it'll kill you if it's come 17 whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the Krug's not that.
Well, that was one of them. There was another one from 1787, the Chateau Lafite.
Tastes like feet.
Yeah. 156,000. How could you spend that?
I don't know.
Like I get big ticket items, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I get splurging on the $500 house in Detroit, but I don't get.
That's a bit
three-
too much. I get $12 million for an archipelago. I understand that.
Which sounds so reasonable now.
One of those bottles of wine was almost as much as my house cost.
Yeah, with the 310 grand one.
Yeah.
But Jeroboam of Chateau Mouton Rothschild.
Anyway, let's move on from that.
$26,000 per glass?
Farrell, you should have held out for more. That's what we're saying. You resigned, you lost your really good job over $30,000. It wasn't worth it. Anyway, let's go to some songs now.
Yes.
And we'll be back with some Prime Ministers and some Royals. Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So a few weeks ago we decided to enlighten people about the history of our Prime Ministers. Because
Yes.
we didn't know them.
And then we subsequently forgot to repeat the segment every week.
I think that I knew more American presidents than I did Australian prime ministers. So we
Incidentally,
decided-
the reason that one of those bottles of wine sold for so much was because it belonged to Thomas Jefferson.
which makes more sense to me
Yeah.
because it's a historical kind of artifact then. Anyway, so we decided to enlighten people on the past prime ministers, and we're up to the second prime minister, Mr. Alfred Deakin.
Mr. Alfred Deakin, he is the second Prime Minister. He was also Prime Minister again, the fourth Prime Minister, and he kind of just kept coming back. So we're going to call him the persistent Alfred Deakin. He was Prime Minister about 3 different times, intermittently with a couple of other people who, again, were president a few different times.
Prime
Andrew
Minister.
Fisher. What did I say?
Said president.
Oh, sorry, whoops. Alfred Deakin, Andrew Fisher, and George Reed, actually. They all kind of...
Came back.
places. Yeah. They all kind of boomeranged their way into office a couple of times. So Alfred Deakin was born on the 3rd of August 1856. He died on the 17th... Oh, sorry, yeah, he died, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, so you're sure.
Oh.
On the 7th of October 1919. And he was in office from 1903, actually not very long at all, 24th of September 1903 to the 27th of April 1904 for his first office.
It's weird because they didn't have very long terms back
No.
then, did they? It's very strange to me. Anyway.
His second term was from the 5th of July 1905 to the 13th of November 1908, a little bit
Oh,
longer.
it's a bit longer, yeah, that's alright.
And then from the 2nd of June 1909 to the 29th of April 1910.
Wait, 1908, and he was again Prime Minister in 1909.
Yep.
So that person between was only Prime Minister for what, a couple months?
Oh yeah, from like November 08 to June of 09.
A couple months?
Andrew Fisher was in there a little while.
Okay.
But then he beat out Andrew Fisher in June 1909. In April 1910, Andrew Fisher returns.
Andrew Fisher's like, Andrew Fisher 2. Andrew Fisher returned.
The revenge of Andrew Fisher in 1910. And then, he was basically he was the member for Ballarat the entire time from the 30th of March 1901 through to the 31st of May 1913.
Okay, well that's a bit boring.
Yeah, eventually he gave up in the struggle between Andrew Fisher and
Alfred Deakin.
Alfred Deakin. Okay, so what?
Do anything interesting? No.
Well, I only opened the Wikipedia page 2 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. Well, there's something else that we need to discuss.
Yes.
The Royals have come to Australia. Well, William, Kate, and
Oh, I got one.
little George.
Sorry.
George the Sixth, if you will. Sixth? Yeah. No, seventh.
Richard-
George the Seventh.
Okay. I was thinking this-
William Henry, Stephen Henry,
Richard John. Yeah, so everybody's kind of royal fever. They just finished New Zealand and then they touched down in Sydney.
Actually, you know what I liked about the New Zealand one? They're like, oh, some lucky baby's got to play with from Prince George. I'm like, they don't know.
Yeah,
He's just another baby.
and they were apparently vetted.
Okay.
I assume the parents, not the babies, but
Yes. Anyway,
yep.
continue on with what you were going to say about Alfred Deakin.
Oh yeah, okay, this is far more interesting than the stupid baby.
Oh, he's pretty cute.
Am I going to get kicked off the station for saying?
Rachel is
What
not
about
a
the movie?
royalist.
Oh, well, you know, we used to have some okay, non-corrupt wine, embezzling people. I don't think it was embezzling wine, but
Wine. You're going to prison for wine embezzlement.
wine, or as it's now called, embezzlement.
Embezzlement. That's what it should be called.
I know, if we actually use the word embezzlement on Facebook, we'll just have a bunch of, like, really uptight friends going, like, you don't know what embezzlement is, and you don't know what that situation was.
You spelled embezzlement wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so Alfred Deakin, the second and fourth and multiple times Prime Minister.
Second, fourth, sixth, eighth.
possibly current, expanded the High Court,
That'd be scary.
provided major funding for the purchase of ships, which led to the establishment of the Royal Australian Navy as a significant force under his government. And he established Australian control of Papua, which is something we might want to overlook.
Good on you, Deacon.
Probably assisted by that navy he just established. Confronted by the rising Australian Labor Party in 1909, still rising and now fallen, he merged his protectionist party with Joseph Cook's anti-socialist party.
The anti-socialist.
That kind of sounds like one of those joke parties we have now. Bullet Train for Australia, anti-socialist. And they...
The bullet train party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I did support their views of a
Yes.
bullet train for
We
Australia.
need bullet trains. I would
Um,
join that party.
and he
I
cre-
would win.
He created the Commonwealth Liberal Party. But this thing, it was better known, or commonly known, as the Fusion.
What?
This is like the best.
The fusion.
The Fusion.
That doesn't sound like something from, 1909.
I reckon the Liberal Party should go back to the Fusion if they want to try to
Yeah.
get the young'uns in.
Vote for the fusion.
Yeah. It'll really distract from the embezzlement of it all. I think it's gonna be awesome. This really has all the makings of a really great comic book. If Source of Ra doesn't work out for us.
Well,
Um,
we'll take on Alfred Deacon.
Yeah. But it's gonna be called like Fusion. And then you got like Deacon versus Fisher.
Okay. Can Fisher be wearing her fish suit?
Alright. He can be like Aquaman.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, Aquaman.
And
How
what
did you
would-
go so wrong?
What would Alfred Deacon's thing be? Would it be dressed like a deacon?
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought.
Wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was our little history lesson about Mr. Deacon. Next week, we'll be talking about Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, Mr. Fisher, also known as the arch nemesis of this week's topic, Alfred Deacon.
Yes, but we'll cover the Royals very quickly.
Yeah.
They're in town. I don't know why. Do you know why?
It's like a tour, I guess, promoting them.
royalty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do people actually care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like parents care. Like the kind of mothers who sit at home, who watch Days of Our Lives, and then get really worked up over stories on a current affair in Today Tonight. I think they're all into the Royals.
You know my opinion of both those shows.
Yes. Yes, I do, and I think it illustrated my point.
Well, I don't know. I don't really care, but Prince George is kind of cute. He's a pretty cute baby.
Yeah. Does that make you want to, like, you know,
No,
come really, woo, Commonwealth?
no,
No?
no. Well, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference if we didn't have them, or if we had them. Like, if our Prime Minister was really president, I don't think that'd make much difference to us. I mean, what does the Queen actually do? She steps our laws.
Does she even do that? Wow, I thought the Governor General did it.
Oh, well, he's her representative, so... Yeah.
She's her representative.
representative.
Oh, briefly.
well, it's-
Yeah, it's gonna be replaced.
Yeah.
It's...
It's... the office is now held by, what's his name? General something something something.
I didn't know that had taken place yet.
I thought it did already. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. Well,
Oh,
going
sorry,
to
Quentin
or,
Bryce.
Going to or has already, we're not sure.
Okay.
What?
What does the Governor of New South Wales do? Does she stamp our laws?
We have a governor?
Yeah.
I don't-
Marie Bashir.
I don't know.
Who's our governor?
I don't know.
That was a good reaction.
I didn't even know Barry O'Farrell resigned this morning. Last I heard about him was last night, and he was denying all claims. So I'm a little bit.
Which is a good default.
Just deny everything.
Deny everything.
Are you the Premier of New South Wales? No, I am not.
He learnt politics listening to that Shaggy song. You know, it wasn't me.
It was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad song.
That's not how you should learn PR. But obviously your lecturer did. Deny everything.
I don't know. Yeah, we are. No, I didn't mention that on air, did I? Did I? Yes, I did.
No. Yeah, you did,
I
yeah.
did, yes. Did I?
You did.
We get confused on this show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Otherwise that's going to seem very strange to everyone.
should we be a republic? Does it really matter?
I reckon if we had some sort of a vetting process where you needed minimum qualifications and non-stupidity to be Prime Minister and therefore President, I think it'd be okay.
I don't know. I think all
Because
politicians
think about,
have
like,
a
the
level of
crazies
stupidity.
that you could, like, get in there. And then they'd actually be head of state. That's scary.
Yeah, but is it any scarier than having some old lady be our head of state? Really?
Who would we have on our coins? Or you have Deacon on one side and Fisher on the other. That'd be hilarious.
Well, it would have to be our first president, like the Americans, right?
Oh, God.
Could you imagine if it was like Tony Abbott?
Yeah, what
He would
if
not
it
be
was
good on
Bill
a coin.
Shorten as well?
Yeah, well, they're all
I feel like...
pretty bad.
I always think of like a human bobblehead because I only ever see his head, so I picture him really short. Like, I picture his body's too
Well,
short.
would you go for our first prime minister or our first president? You'd have to have our first
You'd probably have like people from history.
Australian history.
Yeah.
Who?
You know, they'd probably just keep the Queen.
Probably. Well, our coins would still have the Queen on them. Although, once the Queen is no longer Queen and Charles...
Maybe they'd have
Charles-
either like... They'd probably have Edmund Button or Henry Parkes
Possibly.
or someone like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Or...
'Cause, yeah, once the
something
Queen
like
is gone, we'll have Charles in our coins.
Hmm.
And that's not going to be a pretty coin at all.
No.
Like, at least the Queen, when she was younger, looked kind of alright.
Yeah, she looks quite regal.
Yeah, not Charles, though.
Mm.
No. Although William's alright. He'd be alright on a coin.
Yeah, now. But he isn't going to be king anytime soon. Because I don't think the Queen's going anywhere.
No, I know. She lingers.
She seems quite spry.
Yeah, is this brightly, if you
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's...
Oh.
Hey, how old is Charles now? He's pretty old.
Yeah.
Look at that. How old is
Oh,
Charles?
sorry, okay.
Uh,
Alright, sorry, I'm still reading on Alfred Deakin. I don't know who we should cast as the villain.
Fisher.
Because he was particularly active in drafting bills for public service, arbitration in the High Court. His second reading speech on the immigration restriction bill was to implement the White Australia policy.
Oh. Well,
So,
I don't think that anybody back there was particularly nice.
but it was
Well,
notable
I'm
in
racist.
avoiding blatant racism by arguing that it was necessary to exclude the Japanese because of their good qualities,
What?
which would place them at an advantage over European Australians.
So, the Japanese are too good for our country.
Well, they're just better than everybody else, who we also don't want here.
Okay.
Oh god, yeah, he's not going to be good. Well, we'll have to find out.
Any more about
We'll have to
Fisher
find out
before we-
Fisher first. So
Make a
Fisher
both
next
be
week.
supervillains.
Yeah, that's not while he was in office though. So maybe he got less stupid.
I wouldn't count on
I
it.
doubt it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. How
um,
old's Charles?
How old is Prince Charles?
And how old's the Queen?
How old is one question at a time?
Because William's not that old.
Do I go to princeofwales.gov.uk? No, I'll go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's a more reliable site.
Okay. Okay, he was born, the 14th of November 1948.
Oh wow.
So it'd be like 64
It's quite
or
old.
63.
That's pretty old.
Yeah, that's pretty old. I mean, the Queen,
What
Was
year,
born-
1948?
yeah. The Queen was born in 1926.
Yeah, he's 66.
Oh, okay.
And when was the Queen born? 19 what?
26.
88.
She's not too old yet.
Well, he's 66.
Well, she's been Queen since 1952. That's a long reign.
Really is.
Yeah. Victoria had a really long reign as well.
Yes. 64 years.
So, she's almost beaten that, right?
I don't know. When did she start reigning?
1952.
1952.
Yes.
62 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How much if she gets like exactly the same amount?
What a great little piece of information they just pulled out of the air. 64 years.
Hmm.
Thank you, Horrible Histories. I don't know how reliable that show is, but it's damn entertaining.
And she's the queen of Jamaica, Barbados, the Bahamas, Grenada, Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Some of these places I've never even heard of before.
Yeah.
Alright. Good old queen. Really
Including
old
then the
queen?
7 independent Commonwealth countries, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan and Ceylon. Ceylon? Ceylon. Whatever.
Whatever, a country that doesn't concern us. Anyway, so
Ah,
let's
funny.
stop being racist and go to some songs.
Not us! Deacon!
Deacon's racist.
Deacon!
Deacon
Yes.
and possibly Fisher and Edmund Barton.
Yes. Well, everybody will have to wait till next week's instalment for Fisher.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on QBACR 100.9 FM.
Smooth.
So, I've forgotten what we're talking about. Divergent. Rachel
Divergent.
saw the movie Divergent. Don't ask how, but she did.
By saying that, you sort of implied how. Yeah, so I did see the movie Divergent. It's based on a book,
Yes.
and basically the concept is at 16, children have to choose which of 5 tribes or clans they want to belong to. So there's one which is like a very charitable tribe that helps out the homeless. There's one which is the security sort of organization, the brave ones that defend the city. There's the smart ones, and then there's the other ones that are
You
like.
choose
what's
to
the
be
other
a smart one?
one? Yeah, I know, it doesn't really make sense. And you can choose to be like, one of the really tough fighter people. I don't know about that. So yeah, there's kinds. There's 5 of these guys. One of them was like farmers. You can like choose.
Yeah, nobody was going to choose that.
Yeah, I don't really get it. But anyway,
It makes more
So-
sense if you were forced into it.
yeah. But here's the thing: when they grow up and they choose one of these clans, they then cannot have any contact with their family. Oh, you can only have contact with.
What if your family's in the clan?
Well, then that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but you can only have contact with people in the clan
Why?
because they want to segregate everyone, under the impression that that will maintain peace.
I
This was my main problem with it, right? That segregating everyone and removing these connections somehow creates a more peaceful society and doesn't create conflict.
No, well, you didn't read the book, right?
No.
And neither have I. So maybe the book makes a little bit more sense.
Maybe there was a story behind it that kind of makes everything make sense. But going purely from the movie, it really wasn't explained why this situation takes place, why this society is the way it is. So I saw some very critical problems here. The way that these children are meant to choose where they belong is by doing a test, and the test will show them, sort of like, let's think of it as an aptitude test that tells you exactly what you're meant to do.
I always wanted to
And
do
then-
one of those aptitude tests.
Not really. And then it tells you which clan you should be a part of. You can either choose to be a part of that clan it tells you to, or you can, stick to the clan you're in, or you can basically choose anything though. But with this test, if it doesn't give you a result, if they're inconclusive, you're characterized as divergent. And people who are divergent are considered to be a threat to this society because they
Okay.
don't fit in to one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So part of the story is people like this girl who is divergent because she didn't really get one. She grew up in the clan that was like the charitable ones, but then she chose to go to like the warrior ones, the police force sort of tribe, and yeah, it's about her actually being like the divergent one that is potentially being hunted by people who want to keep the status quo. But I feel like it really lacked.
Any kind of structure.
Yeah, and I think maybe it is better in the book, but I didn't really. There was a lot of kind of overarching sense of why.
Okay.
Like, why does this society exist.
So none of that's explained. It's just
Well,
here
it
you
said
are,
that there was
plugged
like
in.
a big war, and this one city is sort of left,
Well, it
and then there's the
sounds-
wilderness outside of that.
It sounds very Hunger Games.
That was my other thing when watching this. It's very much like a lot of other things.
Okay.
So it's like the Hunger Games. Somebody else mentioned that it was sort of like the Matrix, because it's
Okay.
kind of like they go into her head to play with like simulations and stuff as part of the tests.
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
Bit Inception-y.
maybe. But the weird thing is that those all had adults
And these are
and
just kids.
adults, and yeah, these are just kids. So it was kind of like the character didn't make sense for me
Okay.
in terms of her decisions and everything. I think a 16-year-old choosing to go, nope, I am going to cut off all ties with my family. I'll never speak to them again, to go
Yeah, well,
join
that's
this
the thing,
police
right?
force thing.
If
It doesn't make
you
any
live
sense.
in a society of farmers, and they say you can choose whatever you want, but you'll never see your family again if you don't choose to be a farmer, I think a lot of people would choose farming. Because, okay, so if you think of it like the Amish, right?
Mm.
The Amish, they grow up basically in their little society and they never see the outside world until they get a certain age, and then they're allowed to go out and decide if they want to be Amish or not.
Mm.
And they can do whatever they want in this time. But most of them decide to go back mainly because, you know, of their families, because they'll
Yeah.
never see their families again if they don't. So I think that it'd kind of be like that. Like if you grew up in the farming society, you'd want to be a farmer. Or not that you'd want to be, but you'd stay because your family's there. Everybody you know is there.
Yeah, and the one thing I didn't get is that this was meant to prevent conflict. But by segregating the kind of community and by characterizing everyone pretty much into these 5 distinguished traits, and exclusively into that trait, that if you're in the smart like group, that's your thing, and that's how you identify yourself, it really, I think, would cause conflict. In that we are better prepared to lead than you because we're the smart ones.
But who
Whereas-
leads this society?
It was the group she was originally in.
They lead the society.
Yeah.
Alright.
So like the charitable ones.
I thought it would be like some kind of supreme overlord dude.
No, it's a group. It's not as cliched as having, that sort of dictator over everything.
So it's not Hunger Games.
Not exactly, but it's still like the Hunger Games in the sense, like, I think visually it's very similar to the Hunger Games.
Okay.
There's a lot of grey tones,
Alright.
and particularly like the
Well,
outfits. And then you've got entire training sequences
I
of this girl trying to shoot a bow.
I didn't dislike the Hunger Games.
Mm.
I like the films better than I did the books. Because the
Which is
books
a weird one
well, the
to
books
say,
weren't
but they
very
were well
written.
made.
The books weren't very well written, and I feel like there was a lot of like stuff that didn't fit. Like with the Hunger Games, there was this. Oh, I'm gonna die. I have to kill people to try and survive. And then there was a lot of. I have to wear this dress to my interview, and I have to everybody's gonna like me, and I'm gonna be famous. So I feel like that didn't really mesh well. Like, I feel like, okay, if I was in that situation, and I had to go and kill people, or I was going to be killed, the last thing I'd be thinking about is what dress I'm wearing.
Mm.
So even if all that stuff was going on, there's no way I would be thinking, oh my god, I hope my dress looks good. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that stuff didn't fit for me. I feel like they put that in. Like, they didn't really go into it in the movies too much, but in the book they kind of did too much. And I feel like that was a little bit like, well, we have to try and grab the female audience a bit more because this is teenage girls that are going to be reading this.
And also like trying to show kind of like the difference between culture in the capital
yeah.
and District 12. They're kind of talking about dresses and how everybody's dressed a lot, but not.
But I feel like, okay, you can talk about that. That's fine because it's got to be different. But the way that she sees it, like you're seeing it from her point of view, the way that she sees it, she could be like, oh yeah, and they were all dressed in blah, blah, blah. But she shouldn't care too much about that because she's going to go through this ordeal.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be traumatic. So, and it kind of, that didn't get across, that didn't come across in the books. Like, I didn't care about her in those books. I didn't care about any of those characters. At all.
Yeah.
Like, people would die and they'd be like, oh, alright.
Meh.
Nah. Like, and there's this one, that one bit, if anyone hasn't seen the Hunger Games, it's spoilers, where the really young girl dies, I can't remember her name.
Rude.
That's meant to be really sad, right? In the book, I'm like, oh, okay. So she died.
So she didn't get any attachment to the character.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't know, it just wasn't well written. But, sorry, you were talking about Divergent.
Yeah, Divergent. I think it is pretty good for its genre, and particularly for its audience, which I think is sort of the Twilight audience. Because it is much deeper than that, and it's much more serious than that, which is good. But I'm still not a fan of the placing a lot of responsibility and things upon 16-year-olds. I don't really get that.
I don't get that either.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that these people are writing for an audience that is that age, or like a bit younger, but still, it's very unrealistic.
And as I said, maybe the politics of it is better thought out in the book, but in the film, you're just watching it going, this is going to lead to conflict. You know that there's going to be competition between these groups, that you are segregating, and that you are making so homogenous and so, like, I guess, exclusive of all others.
Yeah.
Where they're not connecting, they're not interconnected at all. That's going to lead to conflict.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler, it does. Not out and out conflict in this film, but you know that they're setting it up for it. I think that was probably the second major sort of issue with it. So in addition to just kind of the world in general, in terms of plot, the film is very much a part of a series.
Yeah.
So it didn't have a major conclusion in this one. The conclusion was her just kind of being accepted in her new sort of clan.
Well, you can tell that I don't remember how the first Hunger Games ends. But you can tell that's a series. I don't know. I think things are becoming a little bit more predictable these days. I think everything needs a trilogy.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's not a trilogy, it's not a thing. Like, you can't have a standalone book anymore. I don't know where that came from. Really? Where did that start?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's been standalone books before. Everything's
But
a
even
series
then,
now.
Harry Potter, that was a series, but each book, I mean,
Each book
particularly
began
like,
and ended, yes.
yeah,
Except
particularly
for
the first 4. 5 was,
5 I didn't like.
yeah,
Yeah.
not so much,
I
but
was gonna
they
mention Harry Potter.
blended together at the end a bit. But the first 4 are very much
Yeah. I was
independent.
gonna
That you
mention
can start and finish.
Because you talked about, putting a lot of responsibility on 16-year-olds. And Harry Potter, But I feel like that was a bit different. Not just because I like the Harry Potter series, but I don't know, because they were actually kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They started off as kids.
And the first trouble that they had in the first book was trouble that they got themselves into.
Yeah.
It wasn't trouble that the administration was putting upon them, with the
True.
exception of the Goblet of Fire and the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
But
True.
even then, it was like, no, you 14-year-olds can't do this. It's
Yeah, there's a
only
little
for
bit
the
more-
people who are of age.
It's a bit funny. There's a little bit more realism in it than there is in, something like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Where, let's throw these teens into an arena to kill each other. I feel like as soon as someone proposed the Hunger Games, then there would be, an uprising.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like something that they would let go on for 70-something years. It's like the 75th Hunger Games
Yeah.
in the second book or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that people would let go on for that long. Like, yeah.
There would have been some sort of uprisal. Even in the capital, I don't think... Because they made it out to be like this spectacle, but I don't think people in the capital would have just accepted
Not everybody, yeah.
watching people kill each other.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, medieval times they used to watch hangings and stuff, but beheadings.
That was criminals, not children who were put into
yeah.
arena to kill each other.
True. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think Hunger Games was that bad, but yeah, it does have its problems. Yeah.
Maybe it's because we do like Harry Potter better.
I don't know. Harry Potter. Well, I suppose we did read that when we were kids too, so we're less critical then.
Yeah. Now I'm really critical.
Me too.
And I don't know why, I guess in the world of Divergent, this system of, dividing people has been going on for some time, but for some reason it always takes this one 16-year-old kid to bring the system to its knees.
I don't know. Do you think we would have, if I had read that when I was a kid, I don't think I would have found the problems with it that I do.
Yeah, because I think the problems that I saw in it aren't so much plot as they are just problems within that world. Because the problem with Harry Potter that we probably don't realise when we're watching it was the fact that he seems to get the exact knowledge that he needs the class before he needs it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all very convenient. Can you imagine if, like, in the 6th book, somebody had come up with, gillyweed and go, I could have used that 2 years ago. Why are you telling me now?
True, but he did have people helping him. Like, it wasn't just him on his own. Actually, he never really did anything on his own.
That's true.
Which is, again, a little bit more realistic. Because he wouldn't have... Okay, so if you take the first book, he wouldn't have been able to get through any of that stuff without Ron and Hermione. In... What happened in the Chamber of Secrets? Oh, well, Hermione figured everything out in the Chamber of Secrets. He wouldn't have gotten anywhere without her. Same as in Azkaban. Like, well, she was really a staple. Goblet of Fire, he had a bunch of people helping him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
He had people helping him kind of
all the way
throughout.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when, in the very beginning, like, even the whole thing with Voldemort killing his parents, like, if he had killed the mother, then Harry would have just died. So... Yeah.
Harry Potter was just lucky, no. But it is like the good thing is
riding people's coattails.
there are actually a few times in Harry Potter where you're like, what kind of teachers are these?
True.
Like at the end when they're like, hey everyone, let's go battle this evil Dark Lord, and everyone's like looking down on the Slytherins for leaving. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, well,
What kind of duty of care operates at Hogwarts? And they're like, oh no, you guys have to stay
stay and fight these evil people. You
and
might
risk
die.
your lives for this kid who most of them probably wouldn't even know.
Well, they'd all have heard
Heard of
him,
him.
but yeah, I don't know. I still think it was a better thought out series.
Wouldn't most of the people in that Battle of Hogwarts be like, Harry Potter's not even here, he hasn't been at school all year.
And then he had to repeat the year.
Yeah.
Like the next year, he's him and Ron, Hermione.
Maybe Hermione could get credit, but yeah.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
Ron
the
definitely not. At least Harry was good at defense against the dark arts. Yeah. I don't know. Those books were better though. I'd much even now I'd much prefer reading Harry Potter over the Hunger Games or Twilight. Oh my god. Oh, don't even get me started.
Twilight's the worst.
It
I'm-
is.
okay,
Out of those, yeah.
I'm definitely not putting Divergent in the same category as Twilight.
No, I don't think
'Cause
it's
much better
that
than
bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. It's worth watching, but it
But-
does really struggle with pacing for a bit and doesn't really reach a climax, which I think it should. So it doesn't really stand alone as a movie.
Yeah. I suppose it has to have that kind of... It doesn't have an end kind of thing. But, yeah, I don't know. Even the first Lord of the Rings movie was, even though you knew the second one was coming, kind of did have a peak to it. And then,
Yeah, because it ended with, like, ending at the Fellowship. And then the second one, you had the Battle of
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
And then
And
after
obviously
that,
the
there was
third
the final one.
Second one.
Which had ending problems, though, the last one.
Did it?
Too many!
What do you mean?
The final Lord of the Rings film had like 10 endings. The Eagles pick up Frodo from Mount Doom, and then
Yeah.
everybody's, in Frodo's room at
Laughing,
Rivendell.
Yeah.
And then,
Wasn't it Rivendell? No, that wasn't Rivendell.
Was it?
That was, whatever Aragorn's kingdom was. Because remember they had the crowning?
Oh yeah, and then there's the coronation.
Yeah.
And then they've got sending, Frodo and everything off on the boat.
Yeah. And then they've got Sam.
Yeah.
Wait, did they see Sam? You see Sam, right?
I think we see Sam.
He goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so many endings.
True, I do love the Lord of the Rings though.
And if you were at a 9 p.m. session, it was like 1 a.m. until you got through all those endings. Let's
always
wrap
wanted
up
to-
all the loose ends.
I always wanted to do the movie marathon with all 3 of those movies.
Oh, and pretty soon you're going to get to do 6.
Yeah, it'll be a whole day.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen those Hobbit movies though.
Oh, you know what? If you're into Lord of the Rings, you'll like them.
Yeah, I know I like them.
Mm.
I don't know why I haven't seen them. I don't know.
Mm.
Interesting. interesting.
Well, maybe that can be a review next week. You can review.
I was thinking actually I should probably read Divergent and see if I could figure out.
What the hell I'm talking about?
Yeah, like maybe I should read it and see if it makes more sense than the movie does.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe you'll read it and you go, what the hell film was she watching?
Usually I read the book before I see the movie. So I've never really got that, I don't really understand what's going on because I already know what's going on. Even Game of Thrones, really, people were like, oh, it's so confusing to find out who's who and keeping track of all these characters. I'm like, maybe it's not confusing for me because I already know them.
It's confusing for me because I jumped in at like the second season.
Oh, no,
So they didn't introduce anyone because
Yeah,
everybody already knew each other's names in the
and the
comments
most
of the show.
important person is already dead.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Not that anybody hasn't seen.
Like, why are all these Stark kids moping around? Whatever happened to... And why does everybody hate that Joffrey go?
Oh, Joffrey. Actually, spoilers if anybody hasn't seen it. The most recent episode.
Okay.
Turn off right now if you haven't seen it. I'm going to give you 5 seconds.
I haven't seen it. Oh, God.
Rachel doesn't care though. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Joffrey finally died.
Oh, my
Finally.
God.
Oh my god. Everybody's like, oh, I really hate Joffrey. I'm like, I already know what happens to Joffrey.
Do I have
know
like a
it's ages.
victory song here?
Yeah, he gets poisoned. And now the whole thing is, who did it? Who killed Joffrey? And I've read the books, and I don't really remember. I think I know who it is, but I think it's like a group of people. So, yeah. Good old Joffrey is dead, and everybody's happy.
Okay, let me get up a victory song because I know how much people hate Joffrey.
Joffrey. Freaking Joffrey. You know what? Him and his mum. Hated them both.
Cersei.
Hate Cersei so much. And you know what? She's still alive. And every time I flip to a chapter with her in it, I'm like, I hate you so much and I don't want to read this chapter. And that's probably why I stopped reading those books. I got halfway through the last one and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I just cannot do this anymore. Yeah.
Talking about books and fandoms though, we'll be back to talk about Supernova.
Yeah!
Woo!
Woo, Supernova. Woo!
This is a victory song for everybody who hates Joffrey. We are the champions on TVACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on WACR 100.9 FM. I should have mentioned before, Bridget is not here tonight. She's a bit busy. So, you can't notice she hasn't been talking.
She had no input on the
Anything
Fisher
we're
Deacon
talking
debate
about.
whatsoever.
Supernova.
Yes.
It just happened in Melbourne. The one before that was in on the Gold Coast. And the Sydney one is happening in June. So we found out today that places are still open for people who want to set up a store.
Exhibitors.
Yeah, and we thought we could do that. So we checked how much it would cost. And, to set up a shop stall, it's like $1,000 something dollars, which we don't have. But we also don't have a shop. So that's good for us.
Well, we have a shop, but not a good one.
Well, if we as local press, say, decided to go as like a small press,
We can set up a table
we can set up
for
a
about
table,
$400 bucks.
Just, I don't know.
Do you think it's BYO table?
I think that's a supplier table.
Oh, I hope so.
$385 I think it was for us to set up a table, and that would get us into Supernova for the weekend. We would just set up there, and people could come and chat to us, and yeah, that's what would happen. I suppose we could sell a T-shirt or two, or if we had Sorcerer up and running, we could probably sell some of those as well.
We've got the story for Sorcerer.
Yeah, we've got quite far with the story for Sorcerer.
But we can't draw.
Yeah, and nobody's willing to draw pictures for us. So, if you're an artist or know an artist who's willing to
Any
draw
illustrator.
Sorcerer,
And just to emphasize, they don't have to be very good. They just have to be better than us.
yes, which is easy.
Should I post my cat picture?
Do post your cat picture.
Next to the picture of the one that was provided is, this is how you can use this app.
Yeah, well, Rachel bought an iPad, and one of the things she thought she could do with her iPad was draw a Sorcerer. And no, it's hard to draw on an iPad.
Even harder when you can't draw for realsies.
Realsies. Yeah, so we could set up a stall at Supernova. It would cost us some money, and it would cost us some money for merch, and I don't think we would make I don't think we would make a lot of money.
But I think we could definitely be a hit
We
at Supernova.
I know. We could be.
Yeah,
We could do it. We could go to Supernova with a stall.
yeah.
But I think it would cost us too much money for what profit we're going to get out of it. And I don't have all
Well,
the money.
I think we should, put ourselves out there, and I want to hear from all of our zombies. Would you come and visit us at Supernova?
Would you donate to us so we can go to Supernova?
Oh, maybe there's like a grant thing.
Well, we could ask the radio station to sponsor us to go to Supernova. I don't know if they would. They might. You give it a go.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so this is an open call to management,
but then
which we've already established are
station
asleep.
management.
Evil overlords dividing everybody into their individual
Good
programs.
old Night Vale. Anyway, so we could try. We could try to go to Supernova.
Well, see, this is the thing. We want to go to Comic Con,
We do want to go to Comic Con. That's
not
our
as an
ultimate goal.
exhibitor,
No, just
but as press.
As press, yeah, because we don't have to pay for anything. We don't have to do anything. We just go in there as press and be press.
And this means, this is a really good step on our way, because then we can show pictures of us at a pop culture event.
With a table.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with merch.
But I think.
Oh my god, it's Supernova! Oh my god, they want
get
us. Okay, yeah, you get the phone. It's gonna be fun.
Wait, is my friend plugged in?
I don't know. What am I, your phone? I don't know if you're plugged in.
Hello.
Okay, so I was just trying to answer the phone, and it's who, maybe a ghost. I think we should go to Supernova, maybe set up a stall, or even if we're just setting up with all of the recording equipment, because we are pop culture. We are the pop culture gods of Bankstown and Auburn. I don't think that's too much to say. Maybe we can just downgrade that to the gods of Bankstown pop culture and upgrade ourselves to Auburn later. I don't know how to do that, Steph.
Oh wait, no, you know how to do that?
We got a new thingamajig. Okay, wait, I can do this. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Alright, well, we're just gonna try to put you on.
Oh, wait. Send to Mixer. Press this. Hello, listener.
Hello.
Oh, look, you're on air. How you going?
I'm good, thank you.
Cool, what's your name?
My name is Sung. I believe I met you guys at Relay for Life.
Yes, you did.
Sir?
You did. And you guys
yes,
won the gnome. Well, not the
Yeah,
gnome,
the
but you
gnome.
won the guessing competition for the gnome.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, can I ask questions about Supernova?
Yeah,
You
go
absolutely
ahead.
can.
How much is the entry fee for Supernova?
Well, to enter as to buy a ticket yourself, it's about, for the weekend, it's about $50, $55 or something
Yep.
like that. So you go for $55, something like that.
Yeah. It's a big event.
Oh.
Stan Lee is going to be there.
Yeah, well, we haven't got the prices for the Sydney one yet because tickets haven't actually gone on sale.
Yeah, they go on sale early May.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of dosh.
Well, it's not that bad for 3 days. It's not as much as the EB Expo would be.
No, not too sure about that. But okay. I just want to give a shout out
There's
to
individual
my
single
friend
day
Bon.
tickets.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Give a shout out to my friend Bon Lam, who's also listening as well to the radio.
Woohoo!
And I want to thank you guys for the gnome competition and the treasure map as well.
Oh, awesome. Have you guys finished eating all of your chocolates yet?
The chocolates, oh yeah, it was very, very delectable. I enjoyed it very
They
much.
were gone on the night, right?
Ah yes, and have you looked at the images for the Game of Thrones thing, the reference?
No.
No, yeah, it's from Sansa and the jewels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know about that. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
about that already.
There was 7 and then there was 6.
Yeah, well, apparently one of them was poison, and that was dropped into Joffrey's glass, and
Yeah, she puts the blame on the short guy
the short.
because he was handing drinks to
yeah.
him.
But it wasn't actually Sansa who did it. Well, that's apparently the thing.
Oh, really?
No, it was like the Tyrell lady, the old lady, who took the thing from her necklace because she was the one who gave her the necklace or something. It's a whole big thing. Yeah.
You had to have watched season 1 to figure out.
Well, no, it was apparently introduced only this season, but...
Oh yes, and did you guys answer my would you rather question the other day, last week?
The
Yeah, we
duck and
did.
horse.
We
Yeah,
had
weren't
ducks
you
and
listening?
horses.
We had a massive conversation
No,
about it.
but here's the thing. I haven't been able to upload last week's episode yet on account of laziness. So, but I'm onto it. I promise you I'm onto it.
We
Oh,
had a
I
message
couldn't get the radio to work last week. So
Oh yeah, it was a bit.
I couldn't listen to it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's not you though.
that was it. Yeah, that was streaming's fault. But yeah, that will be up on YouTube, so you can listen to our massive conversation about ducks and horses.
And the debate over like the breed of horse and duck.
Yeah, that happened.
Would you guys like some more questions about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you
Yeah.
other questions?
But,
Alright, let me think.
You know, you can post them
oh.
all up, and then that can be our topic for like next week.
yeah, because we aren't out of time
Oh,
now, so it's a lot.
Eshe Adelaide. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Put them up there, and we'll get like all of our other listeners as well to debate. And then next week we'll debate it on air.
Okay, well,
Give us a teaser though. What are some of them?
am I allowed to put any inappropriate ones, or is it just safe?
Well, you gotta be careful. So no swearing, nothing too inappropriate.
It might be, I don't know, inappropriate.
Well, post them to us in a message, and then if we
We
feel
can
like
edit
it's
them.
It's
repostable,
it's next level. It's like one of those questions that I don't think you could ever answer.
Alright, well, post it to us in a message.
Challenge
anyway.
accepted.
Post it in a message, in a
No,
private message,
okay,
and
okay.
we'll review it,
Yeah.
and we'll see.
Thanks for listening to the show, and thanks for liking us as well. But get
Oh, yeah.
get all your friends to do it as well, because
And
you had a big team.
Yeah, good job in participating in Real
Yeah.
Life for Life. Well done, guys.
Oh yes, yes. Well, I have me and a bunch of mates. We're all listening, and we enjoy the show. And thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. We'll see you all at Supernova. Yep, that's right. I just made our decision. We're going.
Alright, cool.
Okay, all right, bye bye.
See ya.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
really all we've got time for tonight on the show. It is one part.
I'm so glad that worked.
Cool. So we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with Supernova. And
As in, we'll keep you updated on when we're going to be at Supernova.
Don't forget to get your song requests in for our show from 11 to 9 a.m. every Wednesday. Oh, sorry, 9 to 11 p.m. every Wednesday. And Rachel's morning show every Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 a.m.
Yes.
And yeah, get all your song requests in and anything you want us to talk about on this show. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.